What you need today is a wall. You don't necessarily have to put your mat up against the wall. You might want padding. We're going to be kneeling, but you don't necessarily need a mat at the wall. So that's why I've got a blanket down here. We'll use a couple of blocks towards the end. And then we're going to start with either a resistance band or a strap. We'll use the resistance band a little bit at the end, but we're going to start just warming up the shoulders a little bit. So we're working primarily in the thoracic spine today, some thoracic spine mobility. So you'll hold your band. If you're using a resistance band, you can be hands a little bit closer because you can pull on it. If you're using a strap, then have it a good distance apart so you can get your arms up over your head. And we'll just do a few shoulder flossing exercises. Keep pulling on that strap so you keep a little bit of resistance through the whole motion. One more like this, and then we'll do the single arm. All right, so hold your left arm stationary, bring that right arm up and over. One more. And we'll do the opposite side. Hold the right arm stationary, left arm up and over. One more. And then just a couple to be symmetrical with both arms. All right, and then you can put that strap down for a bit, shake that out in your arm some. In fact, let's just do a little twist. Just kind of start that spinal work here and let your arms just float. Release some of that tension in the arms. All right, so we're gonna take some padding next to the wall, and we're gonna kneel down with the right knee down. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, let's do your right knee down first, and your left leg is going to be up against the wall. So you're there might be a gap between your foot and the wall, but your hip and your outer thigh are against the wall. And then you're just going to take your arm shoulder height and just touch the shoulders. So you'll have to reach a little bit with that right arm, right? Because you see how it's crossing the midline. All right, and then we're just going to keep that right arm straight, and you're going to turn and see how far you can bring that right arm back. And then back forward. All right. Exhale as you open. And inhale as you close. Exhale, open, and you're twisting at that mid-back area. Exhale, close. And then let's add a little bit of a pause here. Hold that, turn your head and look towards your hand. All right, and then you can turn your head back forward, reach forward. Now, if your arm isn't touching the wall, that's fine. You take it to your capacity. Turn the head and look towards the thumb, and then back forward. Couple more. Turn the head, pause, and then back forward. You might get a little cramp in the side. One more. And back forward. Let's just take a little shake of that arm. That right arm gets really tired there. And then we're going to turn around. All right. So left knee will be down. Right leg will be against the wall. So again, there might be a little gap between the foot and the wall, but your hip and your outer thigh are right up against the wall. Right, and then take your arms forward, shoulder height. You have to reach across a little bit with that left arm. And then on your exhalation, open and close. We won't hold the first four. Open and close. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Exhale. And inhale. Now let's add a hold. All right, so as you come around, get as far as you can go and then turn your head and look in that direction. And then release. Open and hold. Turn your head. And release. Two more. Again. Open. Hold. Turn your head. Release. One more time. Open. Hold. Turn the head. And release. All right, and then let's just stand up a moment. Let the arms release. That's pretty intense in the arms. All right, and then we're going to kneel down again. We're going to work a little bending and a twisting. All right, so right knee is down. Left knee's at the wall. Again, it's your hip against the wall. And this time we're going to take the hands behind the head. All right, and you're going to open to your capacity. All right, if you can get that right shoulder to touch the wall, get it to touch the wall. But if not, that's okay. All right, and then we're going to bend down and touch the elbow to the knee. Trying to stay in that twist. All right, and then as we come around here, we're going to twist toward the wall. And then tip that elbow a little bit to the foot. And come back up and twist. You can hear that's hard. You can hear it in my voice. Elbow to knee. Come back up. And then you're going to twist. Facing the wall. Dip back. And back up. Kind of do an untwist. All right, so try to turn your body so you're trying to get both shoulders on the wall. And then dip down. Manushi, take that foot that's at the wall, take it a little bit farther forward. Yeah. All right, and then twist. And dip. All right, so you can kind of go at your pace here. Working in the spine. Leaning into that wall, and you're using that wall. You want to try to hug that wall. Let's do two more. All right, start your last one. And then when you're finished, you can stand up and lean against the wall and just shake out those arms a little bit. All right. Side and side. Yes. All right, so coming down on the left knee, knee about below the hip. You can be toes pointed back or toes curled under, whatever feels best for you. And then make sure this leg, you've got the foot out under the knee. It'll be more stable. All right, so it's a 90-90 situation here. All right, hands behind the head, and you're twisting. So it's as if you were going to put both shoulder blades on the wall. Dip that right elbow to the right knee. Come back up, and then you're going to twist. So now your chest is hugging the wall, and you're going to dip right elbow to the left foot. Untwist yourself. Shoulder blades hug. Dip down. And up. Twist. Chest hugs the wall. Dip backwards. And up. Ooh, stuck on my shade. There you go. Get around. Dip down. Back up. We're doing 8. So this is 3 here. Gotta really get those shoulder blades to hug the wall. One will obviously touch easier than the other. Try to pull that opposite one back. All right, 4 more. This is great work if you sit at a computer a lot or have to drive a lot. Dip and twist. Dip and untwist. 2 more. Dip. Twist. Dip and untwist. 1 more. Dip. Twist. Dip. And untwist. All right, stand up. Lean against the wall and just shake out the arms a little bit. All right, we're done with the wall now. And in fact, you want to come away from the wall a little bit. So you've got room for your wingspan. We're going to start with what is often called puppy pose. My teacher that specializes in back care does this one a lot. You can put your blanket, if you want to use it, you can put it at one end of the mat, and then you're going to use blocks. Now, this is another great one to do with a foam roller, if you have a foam roller, because then you can put your hands on the roller and move back and forth. We're going to have to just reach forward and sit up and whatnot. Now, I don't know what mine's going to look like. Kind of getting puppy pose down. You're going to kneel down. Now, we're not going to Adho Mukha Virasana where we sit down onto the heels, right? You're staying roughly knee above hips. The hips can come back some, right? But we're trying to get into that thoracic spine. So I'm going to lower the blocks for the first round. We'll do blocks on their sides. All right, and then you'll have to put them quite a ways out there, because what we want to do is you want to feel right there at that mid-back, right there at the base of the shoulder blades. That's the area we're trying to take down. All right, so look forward. Now, your shoulder mobility is going to come into play here. But what I want you see how much there's a arch in the upper back there? I'm moving from the upper back down. Some of you may get your chin on the floor, all right? And then you're just going to come up and back down. So you're pushing forward with your hands, pulling a little bit back with the hips, and then you're just thinking that somebody's got their thumb right there in between the shoulder blades, and they're taking those shoulder blades down. Look forward and keep the upper back in. And take that shoulder, open those shoulders. Yes. Now you can hold down there if you want. Notice what you're feeling in the shoulders. Remember external rotation. Biceps up, triceps down. And then when you're ready to come up and release that a little bit, release that a little bit. You can adjust the distance between your blocks. All right, wider is going to be a little kinder to the shoulders. Closer is going to be a little more intense. All right, let's do a couple more rounds. Up and down or hold. You want to hold in that down position. Really reach the chin forward so that upper back is moving in. Right, and then once you finish, you can come back into any comfortable child's pose. You can sit down onto your heels. Getting close, not quite there yet. But just rest. Arms can be down by your sides. That probably will feel good. Just rest. All right, and with your hands near your knees, press to sit up. Let's go ahead and stand up. Take your feet wide. You've got your blocks there if you want them. Let's do a little hamstring stretch. So just a comfortable forward bend for you. You want your hands on blocks, you can have your hands on blocks. And let that upper back round a little bit. Couple of deep breaths. All right, and then soften the knees and stand up. All right, we don't need the blocks now. We'll use the strap. In some ways, we're repeating what we did at the wall laying down. It's a little different, but you'll see the similarity. All right, so your resistance band is going to go behind you when you lay down. It's going to be so that you can hold it in your hands. So it's going to be kind of at your armpits. All right, in fact, if you put the edges of it down by your hips, position it there under those shoulder blades and then grab it, you'll have it in your hands there. And then let's dip the legs off to the left-hand side first. So you'll have the legs at a 90-degree angle with the top leg resting on the bottom leg. All right, and then you're just gonna take that right hand and bring it over towards the left hand and then roll open. All right, so now you kind of get an idea what's going on in your strap. If you want to shorten that distance a little bit for a little more resistance. All right, so reach that arm over. You'll have to lift your head up. You want your hands to touch each other. All right, and then rolling open, and then the back of the head can touch the floor. You can turn the head and then close. So again, we'll do 4 without the pause. And then we'll add the pause. You're aiming to get both shoulders to touch the floor. It's a little bit easier here. All right, now let's add in a pause. All right, so roll open. Here's another opportunity if you'd like to shorten your hands on the resistance band, get a little more resistance. You have to hold that band. Turn your head toward your right hand and breathe. All right, and then let's close and open. Turn the head. Let's take a couple of breaths. And close. And open. Push that band as far towards the side walls as you can. One more, close. And open. Turn your head and just rest. All right, now don't let go of the band here. Get the resistance, bend your elbow and let the resistance off. Then you can turn to onto your back. Line up your hips and shoulders. Let's just take a moment there to kind of soak in that a little bit. And then we'll finish with the opposite side. All right, so again, grabbing that resistance band, pulling it tight. Dip the legs off to the right hand side. All right, and you're gonna close the left arm over to the right. And then open. So the arm is staying straight. Close. We'll move for the first 4. Hold on the last 4. Close. And open. One more, close. And open. All right, close. This time we're gonna hold. All right, so hold that twist, turn your head, couple of breaths. And then close. And open. Hold, turn the head all the way to the left, as far as you can. Breathe. Close. And open, hold the twist. Look towards that left hand. Close. And open. You might be feeling this some in the hands, working on that grip strength, gripping that band. One more big deep breath. And then let's close the band. Roll over onto your back, bend your elbows so you release the tension on the strap. Then you can line up the hips and the shoulders and just take a little rest there. You can leave the knees bent or you can straighten the legs, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Just take a little rest, let that soak. All right, and then drag that band out from under you. Fold it in half. All right, and then we'll take it around both feet. You can have the legs at whatever angle is comfortable for you. Feel like kind of a legs at the wall. This is nice. Pulls those legs down into the hip sockets. Nice flat, long back. Keep your right foot in the strap. Lower your left leg to the floor for a little Supta Padangusthasana. You can choke up on the resistance band if you want a little more hamstring stretch, or just relax into this. Focusing a lot more on the lower back than the hamstring. Right, and then the left leg back up. Right leg comes out. We get out along the floor. Pull down on that left heel. So you feel a lot of length in that right low back. And then bring that right leg back up, so both legs in the strap. Right, and then bend your knees, set your feet down. All right, we got a couple more minutes, so we're gonna play with something. You're gonna take your bands and you're gonna place it under your sacrum. And actually, we can sit up to get this. So sit up, take that strap around your sacrum, and then take your band and you're going to bring it inside your knees and you're gonna pull it around your feet. So it's like you're doing a Baddha Konasana, all right? But you're gonna grip that band outside your feet. All right, and then you're gonna lay down. So you can do a little roll back and you're gonna come to happy baby. And you'll have to figure out, maybe you need to take your bands a little bit tighter to feel anything. Okay, but just hold those bands. Ooh, I got cramps. I can feel the band. All right, and just pull down on the feet. Knees towards your armpits. And just rock side to side. Ooh, yeah, I'm feeling that band. All right, and then carefully, so the bands don't smack you, release your legs. Set your feet down. Let's straighten the legs. Do one more little spinal stretch. Take your feet a smidge wider than the mat. Let your heels be off on the floor. Take your arms up over your head, again, wider than the mat. So you're a big X marks the spot. And then you're going to take the right leg, cross it over the left. And then with your left hand, take the right hand over and catch the wrist. And then you can just kind of push the right foot away from the hip. Reach the right arm away from the armpit. And just get a big stretch in that right side. Couple of nice deep breaths. All right, and then return the right hand and the right foot. And we'll do that stretch to the left. So cross the left leg over. Catch the left wrist with the right hand, and then just a nice big stretch. You're trying to move your hip away from your armpit. Big deep breath. And then turn the hand, return the foot. And then you can bring the arms down by the sides. Position your legs how you'd like for Shavasana. Wider is cooler. Tuck the shoulder blades. And let's just relax. Use your inhalation to draw your attention inward. Use your exhalation to let go. Nice soft eyes, soft face. And then bend your elbows, rest your palms on your torso. Take a couple of deep breaths. Bend your knees. Let the soles of your feet connect with the ground. And then when you're ready, you'll roll to your side. Rest with your arms to sit up. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming to class, continuing your practice. And slowly raise your head. Slowly open your eyes. Have a very lovely day.